Alrighty. I'm here. Hope you're all well. Woo. Made it. Yep. Hey. Sorry. Eagles playoff football trumps. So we're good. Anna will be joining me any minute here. I'm gonna put this on just for a second,
repurposed freighter
and then
drifts
get
through
all the shout outs
space.
out, and then as soon as
As
Anna
you
gets on, we're
stare out
starting.
the star-flecked void,
Alrighty.
another ship comes
You're all
in.
well. Thanks for all
Is
hopping
this
on. This will
sci-fi?
be
I
a
thought we agreed on a
fun
World War II
discussion
campaign.
tonight.
Oh, did we? That's cool. I can pivot. The smell of smoke curdles in your nostrils. Hold up, I thought we were prepping for a zombie apocalypse campaign.
Dale, I'm all right, man.
All right, here's what we're
Hanging in
doing.
there.
It's the year 3700. Humanity's elite fled to other planets long ago, taking with them all forms of advanced technology. Earth survivors scrape by with historic tools as weird phenomena plague abandoned nuclear sites. Witnesses report seeing glowing lights and the dead rising from their graves. And amidst the chaos, 3 strangers will meet in a dim bar. A veteran zombie slayer, a disgraced general out for revenge, and a space mercenary sent to investigate the power plants. Now describe your characters.
Besides
How
watching
did
playoff
you
football,
do
it's been a
that?
super busy day because
I have the right tools for the job.
I always forget how much I have to do for prepping for DMing so many things in a page, all the different characters, all the different, the terrain. I gotta have terrain set up. The good thing is I'm driving there, right? So I have an SUV, so I can just pack the boxes in my car and get them out as I need them. But still, terrain, miniatures, spell effects, character minis. Yeah, it's fun. So, but we're good. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Thanks, long shot. Hope you all enjoyed the game Saturday afternoon too. That was fun with the film girl, with Lindsay. That's the first time she ever played old school, and she'll only been playing D&D for 6 months. So she fit right in with the group, so that was cool.
A story once.
Here comes Anna. All right, as soon as I'm done hitting all the shout outs, we are good to go.
End. The curious are the
If you
ones
get them,
most
sorry if you're already on.
courageous. The
Hello.
tree that
Hey, Anna.
endures has to bend. From stillness,
Classic
the
D&D
mad
reprint
rage is
tonight,
stirred.
and we're good. Okay.
From countless voices, the
Awesome.
castle takes shape.
Oh, cool.
Zaggy.
That's a cool video for the hermit.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry. It is. It's Troller Games. Yeah, ad. Yeah. Let me set this up. Get your tickets in on that. Alright. Like I said, this one's by request. We're gonna do this one. Thanks everyone for being understanding about my sports fixation. What's up, Dale? Good there. Whew. Here. Thank you, everyone. Yep. So we'll go a certain amount of time. We'll see how long, but it'll be a fun discussion. Hey, Keith. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm here with a smile on my face with a victory. So there you go. So.
Oh, good.
Anna and I, good evening. Hey, Wacko, good to see you.
Hello.
So, some good news. I think these came from Patrick, but and I really appreciate what Doc sending me the others. But these are the actual DM's Guild
Oh, these
ones.
for DM Guilds printed.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so these
Mm-hmm.
have the updated stuff in the back, all the references, including our Legends and Lore shows in here in my channel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. It's
Cool.
nice. So I have. We're going to be giving away one of these tonight, along with we get a certain level hype like normal. We'll hit up. We'll add something to it. Let me just make sure I got all my books here. So, how are you, Anna? Everything good?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Did you play today? Or is that every other week?
No, we played a little bit. We converted characters to Hawktails.
Oh, cool. Oh, I thought you
Mm-hmm.
had Dave's game. No, that's not repeating.
No,
Guild
that's on
Prepare.
Tuesday
Oh,
Tuesdays.
that's Tuesdays. Okay, sorry, my
Mm-hmm.
lips are really chapped over here.
Yep.
So awesome. That's good to hear, man. That's good to
Yep.
hear that you got it. So,
Hello, Justinius. Yep, and everybody. Yep.
alrighty. So tonight, how behind the scenes. So
Mm-hmm.
I guess everyone, if you're DM especially, can understand that you get a system down and it works, right? And then you tweak it here and there, and you make some decisions for the better or sometimes for the worse, and you make some changes, and then us old grognards, we're set in our ways, and sometimes we just can't be taught new tricks, right? So I don't know if that's going to be the case here, but a little bit. I'm kind of that way. So no Scarlet Brotherhood, no. No Scarlet Brotherhood. That's funny. That's funny. So I appreciate that humor. No Scarlet Brotherhood. So how long has it taken you to evolve your setup system, Anna?
My Hawktails has been about 5 years in the
Nice to have a
making.
light on.
Yeah, yeah, but about 5 years, and now I'm into alpha stage. I think I have
Okay.
a stable alpha. The major kinks are out now. It's minor adjustments, but the major systems are in place. And I've done it enough testing, and it's been a gradual thing,
Right.
house ruling over the years, so to speak. And I've taken the house rules with me. It's more like now I'm building the basics from the ground up, and I'm starting to I throw out classes, for instance. That's the big thingy. And I it's basically a multi-class is the only way you can kind of you can create a single class wizard or fighter if you want to, but it's that one is created just like everybody else, so in that way.
So how about though preparation for a game is what
Yeah,
the main thing. What like how long has that evolved?
it's
Like
usually a campaign usually takes about 2 years to set up. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
and the big thing is first I decide what area, meaning what will be the main focus. This time it was Shieldlands and its surroundings. So then I do the research, I map it out, and I set up I put together the sandbox. That's like a 2 year period, and
Okay.
and then I have put in plot ideas, meaning okay, this is a cool idea, that's a cool idea, that's a possibility, and let's just keep adding these possibilities for the area and say, okay, and I ask myself questions. Is a Serac there? Nah, I haven't seen anything. So write him off and so on. And we have IUs, we have the Horn Society, we have the Keraptis, and so on and so on. So I kind of, and then I start reading all these things and I start to make up the history. How did the current mess uh, come to be, so to speak, and then I have the situation, and after that I start to dig into okay, what should be the starting point, because
Right.
since it's a sandbox, I don't know how it's going to end. So I'm more like start to say, okay, if we're going to start, we're going to start, and I set up that in detail, and then I have the major kind of ideas of conflicts and NPCs and villains, what their motivations are and their resources and so on. And then I unleash the players with the characters in the area and see where we're going, so to speak.
Okay. So to follow up on that,
Yeah.
how many hours a week roughly are you prepping before you DM?
Well, I turned over prepping into my career, so
Well,
that
yeah,
will
so you're
be
probably like
40.
40.
I'm 40, 50 hours a week. Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
No, but
Uh,
now we need to
what's up, Mike?
be
See you in a couple
honest.
days.
Yeah, what I'm prepping for my own game will probably be some weeks it will be 10 hours, and some weeks it will be 0 hours. But I would say on average, I will probably prep 4 or 5 hours a week on my own
4 to
game.
5. Okay.
Yeah, and then the rest is mapping in general, so to speak. That's setting up the
Hey,
maps
Mike.
for Patreon and stuff like that. That
Okay.
will be general stuff that sometimes, of course, has to do with my campaign, but it also ties in generally. Meaning I've done GIS works, and then I've done way more of GIS data entry per week than I've done on doing my Shieldlands mapping. But some I might take a month and simply say, now I'm just going to spend 40 hours a week on mapping Shieldlands, and that I did that for a couple of years in the beginning, and now I have been very little Shieldlands mapping because I've been running the games on what I mapped a few years ago. But if you go back a couple of years on my Patreon, it was basically full-time prepping for my own game for a year. So I try to combine the two, and now there will be another couple of months when I will probably do full time because now I want to have a lot of detail areas that I want to show patrons and as resources as well. So it kind of fluctuates, but I would say on average, probably about 5, 6 hours at least per week
Yep.
on the game.
Shout out saying you be a good point there as Anna was chatting here. Let me bring up. So I need to bring up Anna's map for me. Very important
Yeah.
here. So let me do that real quick here. So here's my. We'll dig into this because that was what the
Hmm.
request was. So
Yeah.
if I'm boring
Yeah.
you, you tell me. Okay.
Well, you're not
So
boring me. I love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I have some dilemmas, and I'm not complaining because it's fun, and I wouldn't do it unless I
Yeah.
loved doing it, right?
Hmm.
So let me just bring up your map, maximize that, and then we'll go from there. So at least we don't only use half the map there. So right there, Dale, we don't have to worry about the other side of the map.
Hmm.
So here's dilemma number one. We're gonna first off, this is not even up to date. Why isn't that showing? Huh? Oh, you know what? I bet you that is showing. That is showing the wrong. Hold on. That's showing the wrong. Okay. It's showing the wrong. All right, so I just messed that up. Hold on one second
Oh
here.
yeah, you have the wrong window in
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I
Hmm.
have all the wrong windows, but now I think I just erased your Zoom. So one second here. Yeah, so
No
it's got the
worries.
wrong
Yeah.
window up again, which is
Hmm.
bizarre. These stupid updates. But now what I did was I erased I erased the Zoom here, Zoom meeting. All right, that's back. Now I got to go to this. So I got to find the desktop's got to go to desktop two, display two. There we go. Okay. Yay.
There we
Hey,
go.
John.
Yep. Hmm.
Yeah. Stupid thing. Okay. Here we go. So this is 3, 4, 7, 10. There's only see this is wrong. There's only 17 adventuring groups on here, so this is not all of them. Notice, and they're broken down by player and the characters. Yeah. So we're missing 3 of the newer groups. This is an older one. See, this one's called Havoc Squad, which is wrong. This is even wrong. This is outdated. This is an older one. Because there was no. That's the. It looks like the Reborn. Um, Here are all the groups. Now, how do I figure out who the hell I'm going to play? Consider also I have 5 special groups now. Open Night of Ulick Adventuring, which isn't really a group. Um, so I got to figure out, and I try and do it a week or two in advance, and sometimes it just doesn't work because there's all these other things going on. Who am I going to run? So sometimes on a Thursday night you'll see me go to the group. So you guys have any ones you want to do? We haven't done in a while, or an idea will come based on some of the following criteria. One, something is in my head about that I've seen or that I like in a GREYHAWK campaign that's like, wow, I haven't done anything about that. That's cool. And let me tell you something. I'll get inspiration from you guys. I'll get inspiration from shows. I'll get inspiration from Facebook posts. I'll get inspiration from my YouTube vid, maybe. I'll get inspiration from someone talking in a Discord chat, and then maybe I'll plan that out. Or I get, or I figure it out on my own. But sometimes I'll get inspiration from other people. I'm gonna be bluntly honest. Two, we get brand new terrain or we get brand new minis from Bill, and you've seen this just recently. Two, well, yeah, there you go. And I'm like, we want to bring the stuff to the table to show to everyone. So that happened Thursday night for 2 weeks, right? So let me just throw this up here as an example. So Bill is on a kick because we have, and plus, I got to consider sponsors now. Now you're like, it's a D&D game. What's up there, Tim? Do you really need to, is that really going to play a role in what you're? Well, yeah. I mean, they're giving us free stuff. They're giving us giveaways. They're giving, we don't have to pay for anything from them. So I gotta, do the right thing. And you guys all want to see new stuff on the table, right? So it's a no-brainer. So as an example, as an example here. So new, the Blue Yetis are new, right? Just recently that Bill did, brand spanking new. I called it an elemental Yeti. It has no name, but I made up a monster off of it, right? Old terrain, and then for the second week, new. Both those are new. The Ice Devil's new, and oh my gosh, Forge Allure, great. Welcome in. I started late because of football, so
Hello.
good to see you. Thanks a lot. We have a really cool giveaway tonight, so hang out, enjoy. Thank you so very much for the raid. That was very kind of you. Sit around, enjoy. We're going to give away this brand spanking new, and this is right off of DM's Guild print. World of Greyhawk Gazetteer, 5th edition, for the community, by a lot of great people. Troy, Lee, Norker, and the whole crew. So, yep, that'll be a giveaway. And if we get a certain level, if we get over the level 3 hype train, I'll double it and add something to it. So, I'm showing off stuff all the time because, and that's easy to incorporate in the game. That's what makes it a lot of fun, Darling, what's up? What's going on? Let me just share one more thing here that is recent as an example. And you all had seen this, and like everyone was like, oh my God, it's crazy that it's on the table and how big it is. One sec. I'll show a couple pictures. So that, so Jeremy makes his fortified keep, right? Fortified manor house or fortified, church. And thank you for the follow. I immediately say to myself, Red Knight. This is a Red Knight thing, and then Bill adds all. As you can see, there's a Red Knight statue here. There's Red Knight heads, all along the top. He's put in glass panes. He's done all this. All these great things to it, and then here's the inside of it, some of the inside pictures. So, 4 levels, it's like, I'm using this, right? I'm using this soon. Look at all the neat stuff on the inside, and
Yeah.
this one's really cool because the front comes off. I mean, look at all that playable space. So with this, I'm building a whole adventure around this, and that's what we did with this piece. And a lot of people played in it. Darling, did you play in this one? I think, yeah, Darling, you played in this one. Darling played in this one. Curtis played in this one. Coco played in this one. It's huge. It is huge. Yes. I stopped myself from saying something. Bill, you can say it in chat if you want, but I stopped myself from a reference from The Office there after you said that. So there's Bill's thing. Yeah. So we built a whole scenario around this. Bill's got this is where the tie-in comes. Bill's got a specialty priest of the Red Knight. We poured it over. That character fits. Don't ever say Stratus. It's like saying Vampire Thrommel. I don't want to hear about Stratus. Okay, dead guy. I just another brother of Hexter and Heronius. I know nothing. I'd rather go with an existing deity. The Red Knight fits perfectly in our campaign. Plus, I'm kissing. We did it years before I even knew Ed. Right, so it's perfect. Perfect deity for our game, a lawful neutral god of battle and battle prowess. Perfect. So we're building adventures around terrain. Now, I got to think of myself now. Who am I going to play? Right? I'm going to be all over the place on this. But the whole point is, That's number two. Miniatures and terrain will dictate the adventure more than you think for me. Now you may say, well, that's you're not really. Are you creating a campaign by doing it that way? And I'm like, yeah, because the stories. If you take a story and I just do a story and I don't even think about the characters playing in it, the location, or what because of the way I play, what I need to put on the table. Well, then that's worse because if for example, an adventure, two more horrors would be extremely difficult to do on my table. Dungeon crawls are the toughest because I don't want to put out 8 foot of. It's just annoying, right? Putting out 8 foot of dungeons. I don't even know if I have enough Master Dwarven Forge and other things to even recreate it. And you've seen some of the ones I've done. So I would rather do it this way in our style. So I know I'm babbling here, but that's
No,
one of the things.
this is important. Meaning you
Yeah.
play to your strength.
Yes.
That means that you have to, but that's we all do that. Meaning we emphasize different things, and that means that only so much attention, time, and
Only so
bandwidth that
much.
you can put into a game. So that means that
Right.
if you focus on something, that means that you focus a little bit less on something else. Meaning I focus a lot of the big picture. Meaning it's a lot of political intrigue. There's a lot of weird stuff going on, and it's a big sandbox. But that means that tactical play and the situation is a little bit less well managed, so to speak. I kind of downplay that to some degree.
And my style, once again, I hate this term because who knows where this term came from? Because it should be, and I'm sorry for sounding like an arrogant jerk, but it should be like how Anna goes 1.J rules. It should be 1.J play style, the West Marches style. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. I almost 0 times cancel a game because some of my guys are out. Because I have great people in the community: Curtis, Coco, Darling, right, Bones, Korg now can hop on a Thursday night, filling in a game, and then when I do a special game on a Saturday, I usually have 5 to 6 in those games, and this is where you got to think again too. If one drops out, no problem. If 2 drops out, okay, it's a little tight. Then I'll go into, and I don't want to downplay anyone, but there are emergency people I can call. I can call Josh Pop. I can call Zarathon.
Yeah.
I can call Rob Phantom. I call Curtis. I can call Chad Van Wickman. I can get them into the game. I even or Heather Hex if she's available. I can hop her. So the number
But
one.
there you have the benefit of
yeah.
having a stream game where you have a lot of fans and supporters and a community. Meaning my game is still very much a home game.
Right.
And that also means, but you also have viewers and people who want to show the show. So meaning your game is not only for you and your players. But for most people, the game is only for the DM and the players. It's only for the people around the table, whether it's virtual or real, so to speak. So then it becomes different. If you have half the party or players cancel, then the other players might be like, no, we don't want to play without that character or something. But you run a much bigger operation in that sense. That is important for a much bigger community. Meaning you have 100 viewers on your games quite often, and that's a huge difference from just having 5 people at a table. Yeah.
Technically speaking, it is, but it's also meant to entertain. So which is true. Yeah. So another thing is that in that style, most of my guys have 2, 3, 2. Yeah. So, Scott. Boy, that was so devious of you. At the very end of the adventure yesterday, they're doing real well. There's a Medusa running around, right, in there because they're searching for Junior. I know I'm going to just sick them. I'm going to draw them right in because I'm sorry. If Stronghold Tim's on, his character's fixated on this mongrel, the half halfling, half orc. Draw them right into this place underground. They're Grimlocks, which don't have any eyes, right? So they're not affected. So they're great minions for a Medusa. And I just draw him right in, and at the very end, Scott gives me like 10 special hero points at the very end. And I was like, it was great. I did turn one character in the party to stone. if I really wanted to be a jerk, I could have done 2. But I wanted to be fair and split it up between the 2 people who were affected. So it was fun. That's exactly it. It was fun game. So knowing all that and knowing that my guys can play 2 characters each, or even in some rare instances 3 maybe, which is a
So
little
do you have
strange.
multiple character per player in the same session,
Yeah.
or is that a no too?
Oh no, we do that. We do that more than anyone. So here, let me show you.
Okay.
Let's just go to
Yeah.
one. Let's go to the best of all the best. And this is the. We'll go to GREYHAWK City, and this is the Iron Brigade. This is the group that did Return of the Eight. This is the group that did Expeditions to the Ruins of GREYHAWK. Here is the pool. Alan's got 3. Bill's got 3. The old Bill is gone. He's not here anymore. NPCs are 3. This is Tim's Jad 2. Mark, who's not playing anymore, 2. Tom's not even on these lists because so that shows you how old these are. Walt's got 2. Tom's got 2. A huge pool of characters to choose from. West marches style, right? Yeah. What? Oh my gosh. Is he okay? Dude,
Uh-oh.
all the best to you. Hopefully everything's okay.
Hopefully it wasn't that bad. It
Chris,
was a little bit of
hope
damage.
everything's
Yeah.
okay. Pray
Yeah.
for you and your son, okay? So please, yep. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely 100%. Let's pray that everything is okay. All right? Yeah, 100%. So, oh, she. Okay. I'm sorry, she. All right. You take care of your family, man. Thank you.
Yep.
It's appreciated. I know how important you're an important community member, and we really hope everything is going to be fine in the long run. So,
Yep.
I hope everyone's okay. Yeah. So there's a pool. When you go to other groups, I don't like, it changes. So 2 styles of we're getting ahead of ourselves actually. Let's talk about that once we get through all the prep. Okay. So okay. Why am I showing this? This is all my classes, the race. I'm sorry, I'm using race. I'm a grognard. If you're going to page, I'm getting that grognard badge. I'm putting it right proudly on my thing. Right. So, yeah. And then the sources from them and all the other options. Casey actually did this for me. It's nice. Why am I showing this? We are going to do the following. We're going to figure out what we're going to play. I'm going to figure out what group. I'm going to figure out the general gist of the story. And then I'm also going to, before the terrain starts going up, I'm going to figure out what do I need to play test. Okay, and so there are still classes we're play testing, like Maester. Notice we did it. Jester's always on here, even though it's a terrible class, but it's fun. Do we want to work on some spells? Do we want to work on some new magic items, new monsters? So I got to figure out what the priority is in every game I DM's a play test. So no, Dale, we do not anymore, because the game has evolved to the point where if we were playing one character and it was a race to 20th, why? All right, so let's go off. Let's go off on a second here. Let's go off, Dale, on a second, and I'm going to justify this completely. And if Bill's still on, Bill the Master Crafter, he will agree with me. If Tim was on, he'd agree with me. I want to show you something. I want to show you how weird things are and why this makes no sense. Why class level limits make no sense. Let's go to Unearthed Arcana. A great book, but a bizarre book in some rights. You know where I'm going with this? What do humans get then? A lot. A lot. You got to think grand scale. Okay. So, here's the cross-reference chart for all the classes and races. All right. Here comes this abomination of all the stuff with class level limits. Right? Why for the life of me, number one, right, pointless, Bill, thank you. Yes, pointless. Why, for the life of me, am I going to want to have a dwarf cleric, try to push himself to get 20 wisdom to get higher level, and that's all he's going to worry about. I think it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. This table is stupid. Why over here, like here, the ranger one's the worst. This is the worst one by far. Look at this. Am I going to have a character ranger intelligence 19, wisdom 19, con 19, and strength 20? I'm creating god characters by doing that. Why would I ever? People, to go up in level are going to want to do that. Why then? Also, why is Cavalier unlimited in class no matter what? They just put that in on Arcana. Why?
Yeah, I've always wondered. First of all, they try to say that
Exactly.
they try to somehow they want to have balance. Say that elves and other they have benefits by having various vision and magical abilities and
They
stuff.
are superior.
Yeah, then you should have the limit should be the opposite. They should have lower
Yeah.
abilities to go higher if that will be the case. So they are trying to make them even better, and it's weird that they have this obsession with a balance between
Oh, thank you.
yeah. So they try to between different
Yeah.
races to they limit they want some sort of weird balance to rein in elves and stuff, but there is no balance between the classes. Meaning a wizard
Exactly.
is way more powerful than
Right.
fighter and a thief is at higher levels. So it to me it's just seems to they just
Tell me
seems
that's
to
not
want
true.
to yeah they just want to they don't like anything except humans. That's but that was the old school thing
Right.
up until third edition. These were I think they toned it down a bit in second edition. This
Why are druids unlimited? Why are thieves unlimited? Then it makes no sense whatsoever.
no,
I want
me neither.
for
I
now.
never I
I'm not
just
a,
ignored
yeah,
this.
I'm
Yeah.
not a 5e person, so you're not having a Tabaxi or any of that other stuff or Dragonborn player characters in here. But look at this. We give advantage to single class characters over multi class characters with abilities. For example, a single class fighter gets weapon specialization and can get double. They get 3 weapon specialization slots. They can do 2 double, 1 single. A multi-class fighter doesn't get that at all. A huge benefit to attack rate and pluses to hit and damage.
Yeah.
Now, so if I don't, what am I going to care if it's a straight dwarf fighter or a straight human fighter? They're specializing in that class only, and they're
Yeah.
going to get the benefit of it, right? They also can get some. They also get the battle shouts I created. We've made it so every class has something special and unique. That is, and I know it doesn't make sense, Dale. It may not make sense to you and some other people.
It's
It
just
works,
tradition. For some reason,
right?
that was
Works.
built in from the beginning that
Yeah,
elves and other creatures were so powerful as races
right.
that their traits were so overwhelmingly powerful in some sense that they had to nerf them in other sense. And then all of a sudden they say, oh, but if you are
Yeah.
really,
Oh,
really
thanks,
good,
Mike.
you can do it anyway, which
Yeah.
defeats the purpose in doubly.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I yeah.
Do I really
the-
want a halfling
yeah.
with 20 wisdom running around? Do I? Or a halfling druid with 20 wisdom? What else?
Yeah.
And 19 charisma. I just don't want that, man. I
Yeah.
want them to be normal. I don't want it to be a stat
but
race.
but this
Yeah.
is a problem that you
Yeah.
have to
It's a great
either
question.
accept in it's a great question and you
Yeah,
have to
it
either
is.
you have to either accept imbalances, meaning some
Right.
characters and versions of classes or
Watch
abilities
this.
are more powerful
Great
than
question,
others.
Odell.
Yeah, it is. The way I've done it in Hawktails is that if you want to, you can run it simplistically and have milestones and just give them stuff. So, but if you want
see
to
what
run
access
a
to build.
balanced game, every ability, everything that a character can gain, so to speak, whether it's
Yeah.
spell slots or abilities or skills or whatever, they have an XP price, and that's the same for everybody.
Yeah.
And so does traits. So when you build an elf, if you want dark vision and stuff like that, that will cost you XP as well. So there will be, if you want to have perfect even balance in that sense, you can get it. So if you run a game and you want one
Yeah.
player to who want to have a character with lots of cool senses and innate magic abilities and stuff, you can have it, but that means that that character at the same level would have less of other stuff.
The minute I saw in Unearthed Arcana that Cavaliers had no level limits, that threw it
Yeah.
right out, and it makes no sense. So why would anyone ever want to be a fighter then? I mean, I know Cavalier comes
Hmm.
from noble classes or whatever
Yeah.
races, but it
Yeah.
made no sense, and that was it. So I don't use level
Yeah.
limits, but humans really want to go up the XP bonus for high prime. That's a good way to do it, Shattered Saint. For Bill the Azure Crafter answers the question, and especially in my game, dual classing is humans only, with one exception, and that is the Bard for half elves in first edition. Right, that Bard, because it's a half elf for human, which they completely forgot about.
Hmm.
Being a prestige class.
Yeah.
So Keller's high ability score required. No, it doesn't, Garmin. It's just 15 strength, intelligence, 15 strength, con, and dex. What's the charisma? 12 or whatever it is. It's nowhere. The paladin needs a 17 charisma. And remember, Cavaliers get their stat increases too, which is really crazy. And I figured a way to limit that. I had to limit that. People were rolling, oh, I got 17/90 to start. And I'm like, oh, good. So you're going to have 18 slash it when you go up to second level with your stat limit. So I started, you have slash 50 is your highest start point. So you don't want to be a fighter if you don't have the stat. Yeah. So look, I'm not saying that I do things the right way and everyone else does it the wrong way. I'm doing it the right way for me and my campaign. You know what the proof is? The game. All the people that
But
play.
as
So
long as you have players that
enjoy it.
continue to play
Yeah.
in your game, you're doing
Yeah.
it right. So yeah.
Dual classing creates some of the most powerful characters in the campaign. Also, note this: with instead of being a fighter, be a lover. Well, the lovers tend to be creepers, though. Prof, as you can see on stream a lot of times, like Fritz. So I'm just kidding.
But
Um, yeah,
I was thinking, dual class, do you still have the way that you have to go up, raise
Oh
the
yeah,
other class to the same level
and
before you
surpass
can
it.
use the first
Oh
or
yeah,
surpass it before?
oh
Okay,
yeah.
so you still have that. Yeah.
Yeah, so some examples are I just played Erin Winchester on Thursday night. She went up to 7th level fighter, stopped, and then went to magic user. And now she's an 8th level mage. And that is a powerful combination. She is double
Hmm.
specialized with her weapon, 7th level fighter, 2 attacks per round. And now she can cast all these spells, all these tensor spells, running warrior spells, all that stuff. Tensor's deadly strike and all this. She has, it's a great combination. But you're still limited by armor. So just be a monk with psionics. I don't use psionics moves. They drive me insane. They drive me nuts,
That's
man.
that's what I do in Hawktails. You can learn to cast spells in armor. That's a
Okay.
separate. When
Yeah.
when you have the armor proficiency, you can
Well,
take the armor proficiency for spell casting in that armor. So that costs you more, and clerics have to do it too.
oh,
It's
wow.
based on yeah. Oh yeah. It's based on what the cast the component. So if you have or like a somatic component, you need to have that, otherwise it would not work.
Yeah.
So that you have to make a
I gotta wipe this
spellcraft
stuff
check.
up. So
Yeah.
here's the thing, Arc Scott, on that too, and a couple things in the rules. Only monsters have them like monsters, yeah, monsters, and their sonic blasting and stuff. So spellcasting and armor used to be elves could do it in anything. We eliminated plate mail and up. So they can do it in banded, up to banded, and that's by rule. So a fighter mage can elf, multi-class or half elf can cast
Yeah.
in their armor, but normally they're wearing chain, elven chain, or they're getting bracers. So, but they can't wear plate mail, plate armor, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so psionics. Back into the 90s. I've told this story 100 times. Well, not maybe 100. Some of the guys in Marco's group, I tell them, all right, generate some characters for a new group. I get 5 brand new characters. 4 of them randomly rolled psionics. And all 4 randomly rolled cell adjustment as their ability, which is you can use your psionics just to heal yourself. I was like, wow, what are the odds of this? 1 in a billion, right? And I was like, that's it. I'm done with psionics at that point. And I was like, psionics are good for Dark Sun, but just I can see a certain. I just want to keep them out of the NPC's hands. So Never
Yeah, I
enjoyed these.
never
Yeah,
liked that
yeah.
that
I was like,
psionics from the first edition and the other
Dale got me
psionic
off on
because
a
they're
tangent.
kind of they're too science fictiony. They are
Right,
like the senses in first edition.
right.
They're infravision and ultravision and stuff. That's kind of yeah. They don't fit the picture. But I in Hawk Tales I have magic. So psychic magic is part of it. So yeah, that they have their own rule system, and I've tried to make them fantastic, so to speak. They should fit the bill. So there's definitely mind magic that ties into the D&D physics. There are mental planes, and that ties into the mind magic. So it has some really cool because the range of spells is not the physical range; it's the amount of steps between you and mine. So if you can see or that person thinks of you, you have a connection. And if that person is scared of you, you have a connection. And then if you're really powerful, you can use someone else who is aware of someone. And so you can make it like degrees of separation. So gods and stuff can use that power to influence you and do stuff. So it's really yeah. I've only started to sketch up because that's kind of a little bit more high level stuff, godly stuff, and things like that. So it's not something that the mere low level mortals will go around doing, so to speak. They might be victims of it, but and have to.
History prof,
But
I
you
know
can
my
also
stuff.
yeah.
Okay, I'm
Sorry,
sorry,
yeah.
and I keep going. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and you can also use it the other way around. So if someone used that on you, you can hijack it and hit back. So powerful monsters and powerful others who have that ability, they will set traps. So they will lure you to use it, and then they will come after you because that means that there is an opening. You can then travel to them, use it. So it's a way of you can teleport that way, so to speak, or you can open for it.
Right
So
here.
you can project yourself using it. So
So
it's
this
a
is
risky thing as well. So yeah.
right here. So Jester's in here. It's in Dragon 60, prof. Roger Moore wrote it.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask him some questions about his
Hmm.
thoughts on this at
Yeah.
our seminar.
What
Um,
that meant as a real class or a DM class, so to speak, or
no,
NPC
no,
class?
it
It's
says
a full class.
yeah, it says new NPC, but so
Ah.
I played in
Hmm.
Theo's Heroes, the head
Yeah.
guy, Theodore Claxes, all those. I have like
Yeah.
four
You
Jesters in the
you you
campaign.
made you made it into a class
Yeah, I
in
did,
your
I
the rule
did,
system. Yeah. Hmm.
and the spell list is really small. Um,
Yeah,
like
but
here,
it was popular for a while. Met NPC classes in Dragon. They had a whole
yeah, a
bunch of
lot of
them.
them. Yeah, a lot of
Yeah,
them. So we use it. So one of the first things I got rid of was, yeah, Rob. So I'm not going on a soapbox a little bit, but maybe I am. Oh, by the way, this right here in this article, this Darumuid's Last Jest. You got to check this out, page 48, and it's one of the greatest bard abilities of all time that I have added to my bards for them to learn this. This is the one where they can tell a story. It's so funny the targets die laughing. So take a look at that.
hmm,
As I said, 60 is, in my opinion, the greatest dragon of all time. It's almost all Roger
it's
Moore.
cool.
It's got
Yeah,
all the elves in it. It's the elven point of view, right? All about
hmm,
elves. All right. All the other great stuff in here. And it also has Euban Hads in here, too. Look, it
hmm.
even has this half elven point of view. Yeah, and then it has the midgets in the earth with Euban Had and them, and we use Euban Had all the time. And even has an ad for Aftermath, which Tim loves that game. I'm trying to get him to play DM1, but really great stuff in this one. So one of my favorites. Yep. All right, and plus some games in here. There's the Jester. There's the midgets in the earth, and there's You've Been Had right there, right above Mork the Orc. So yeah, so it's a fun one. All right, so there you go. That was the answer to that. So what's up, Chad? All right. Lastly, like on this thing, why can an half orc with 21 strength go up to 17 like level and as a fighter? I mean, do I really want that running around my campaign? No. With giant strength, I just don't. So there you go. Enough of that soapbox. I'll leave this Unearthed Arcana out open in case we need to go back to
Yeah.
it.
Hmm.
All right. So all right, I'm deciding some factors and then what group we're going to run. Options will include based on based on setting. Let me go back to the main screen here. So we have multiple settings that and I'll bring out Anna's map, and then I'll reset this and I'll pick it back. We have adventuring groups in the following locations. So, one, Free City GREYHAWK and its surrounding area, which is a large area, all the Cairn Hills, the parts of the Aberrals, Miss Marsh. You can even throw it into Divers, that whole area. Two, Hardby, right? The whole area of the entire Woolly Bay, running up and down half of the Wild Coast on the left side, the entirety down almost into the Bright Desert, all of the southern Aberrals into Ernst. So that's 2, 3. The Vespi Forest. We have a high level campaign and a Druid group. This is the one we go to the least right now in the Vespi Forest. So we could run an adventure out of there with 2 adventuring groups active there. Pomarge, Principality of Ulick, the main Order of Ulick Keep, is here and runs along the entire border, so we can run adventures all along here, anywhere, running into the southern Sus, like the Hidden Temple of Erythnol. We've done a whole bunch of adventuring out here. Strand Keep Castle, which is in the books, we've done there. There's 2 of the Night Watchers towers. We can run the entirety of this entire border, and we've also has some areas on the inner areas that we've put on the map there. Anywhere in the Sheltermore Valley, County of Ulick, Duchy of Ulick, Keeland, we can run. I rarely do stuff in Jeff or Sterich or the Yeomanry, but we could. Stuff out of Dreadwood. We've done an entire mini campaign setting in Dreadwood. Any of the adventuring in this area is up for grabs too. This spot right here, I gotta have you add this on my map. This spot right here is a swamp in my game. That is where the Mirror of Dead Men is from the first ever quote unquote adventure path Eric Boyd and them did in Dungeon Magazine, 5 adventures. It's just a big, the whole area is sinking. It's really it was a cool series, so we put that right there. And then last, Altamir and its surroundings, which is where most of my special groups are. Some are in GREYHAWK though, but most of them are in this area. The Sus Forest, Celine. Whoops, I did it. I did too much moving around, and I went to that. So I gotta reopen it. So there you go. That's the areas that that we utilize. So now I got to figure out that and the adventuring group, right? Once I figure that out, I got to make sure levels balanced. What level I want to do? Do I want to do? And it's usually between 5th and 9th. Anything above 9th is considered high level adventuring in my game. So, all right, Bill, are you on? What is your highest character level brought up from first, and since '92, since you started playing? Let's see what he answers. I think this will be his answer. Yeah, 12th.
12, yeah.
That's it. So 12th level is about it. That's when characters get to the level where they're high enough that they become, they're still adventuring, but they're semi-retired or they're doing something more important. We don't get rid of anyone. So I got to pick now. I got to decide the group I'm going to run, the location, then the terrain. And then how long the adventure is going to be? It's going to be 1 week, 2 week, 3 week. Is it going to be a filler? Am I going to? Here's another thing. This is really where it gets complicated. Do I have a game on the weekend that I'm going to have to completely change out all the terrain? Where I have a special group running, whether it's nuclear meat or it's 2 drink minimum. Do I have that, and do I have to tear all this down, put up something else, and then tear and put that back up? So note, I've been having it so they kind of fuse one into another. So I got to think about that. So terrain is a very important thing because now with my hips and all, it's very difficult to get around and move. And I have what's called my Terrain Tuesdays now. So anyone chat register for Adepticon? When's Adepticon? Is that before GaryCon now or after? It used to be right at the same weekend.
Adepticon. I never heard of
Adepticon's
it.
in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. Week before, yeah, there's no way. So if you notice, The underlays are important. The underlays are lying to the left
It's
of the
in
table.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
Oh, it's in Milwaukee. Okay, I thought it
Yep.
was. I thought it was in
March
Chicago.
26 to 30. Yep.
Yeah. All right, it's in Milwaukee. Cool. Hey, if you go, that's great. Terrain Tuesdays, Jack. I need to do this. So my son comes down. He loves doing it, and we're building the terrain. So this is from Nuclear Meat's game. Thanks, Celtic. It's good to see you, man. Thank you very much. We're building up the terrain. Number one. Number two. He likes to put his little spin on it, and I let him go. And if there's something I really don't like, then I'll just change it. But for the most part, I let him. I got to figure out now if where who's coming and where I can move miniatures and where the final end's going to be, so that it's close enough to me that I can manage it. I don't want it on this far side of the table. It just doesn't make sense. I can't, it's good that Alan can't see it, but I need to see it. So normally the end stuff is going to be closer and closer to me as it goes. So what time tomorrow? Tomorrow is Monday. So yeah, what time tomorrow? Normally I do it right at. So we're going to be a little late because my son's got a doctor's appointment, and then Tuesday. I normally it'll be like 7 o'clock. So, but there's not going to be a setup this week. Fourth page is this week.
Yep.
There's no setup.
So you have no game Thursday and
No game Thursday.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about that at the end. Yeah, I'm DMing 3 times, and I'm going to try and stream them. At least one of them. Especially Thursday night, I think I can do at Page, and we'll talk about that at the end. So, terrain setup and teardown. With my son helping, probably cuts it down to 2 hours. Without him, and the way I am now with walking with a cane, and all, it'd be double that. And he, it takes about 2 hours. No, I don't think it's gonna be that lonely. I'm gonna try and do it. No, because we got something really special Wednesday, I think. Okay, so we're gonna talk about that too shortly. All right. So that is the key. Now this one is a Saturday one. Let me go. This is better. Let me go to the 1086, the first one. Okay. Notice something. Notice the background on this one. This is the beginning of 1086, right? This is the beginning of the one where the Theos Heroes is looking for the Orb of Eternal Winter. And notice we got some creatures out, and Bill hadn't gotten me the new miniatures yet, so I don't have them to put out. Yes, I'm taking 6 boxes of terrain with me. Yeah, but I'm driving there. It's only 40 minutes away, so that's why I love. That's why it's a good one. So notice that one. These 2 big buildings in the back, big structures in the back. Now notice this one. Now I know when I get done that Thursday night game, we're only halfway through, and I'm like, I'm not doing. So I tied the adventure Saturday with Nuclear Meat into the Thursday night double weeker. So I have help. My son's coming with me on Friday, and Anna's going to be there. Chuck's going to be there Thursday. I'll have help. Don't. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll have help. So I have figured this out now. I gotta because I have so many Saturday games. I've just tying them into the games on Thursday, even though it's an entire separate adventure, but it had the same premise. There was all this blizzard coming down into Happy Springs, and it was because of this the orb and the dark druid, and then Nuclear Meat dealt with it. And here's all the halflings in the town. This is before the attack. So I interlock adventures a lot. I give you a lot of thanks. I appreciate that, Curtis. Yeah, because it's a campaign, it's a setting, and you guys are jumping in on it. And then week 2, I took these pictures at the end of Thursday night, and then these are the death and destruction before we tear down half of it to put up the Saturday one. Then we put notice there, that's it. I put some of these back on the table where Happy Springs was, and then I put this, knowing that this here is going to get converted, because I know what I'm going to do on Saturday with the Bone Baddies gets converted into this. Okay? But notice I didn't change the underlays. No one caught me on all the. I was like, I can't change the underlays. So yeah, so that's how. So there, I've done 4 nights of adventures: Thursday, Saturday, and figured out how to convert the terrain over with a little bit, with about an hour or 2 of change. So, by the way, Bill made these. So these ruined columns. Where do you think those ruined columns come from? Yeah, I've had them forever, so I get to use them in like these underground. Like, if I recall what Bill told me, they're just plastic. He's painted them up. They're cake decorations.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
No,
so
they're cake
cool.
decorations. Yeah, yeah. And so he created broken ones and stuff. Yeah, wedding cake.
Yeah.
That's it. That is it, man. So, yep. Oh, and not anymore. So there you go. And that's Saturdays that we just did yesterday. So, terrain set up. Now what? Terrain set up on Tuesday. Now what? You want the whole shebang, everyone. Character sheets. I have to get the entire group of characters that are playing, put them on my log, right? Put them on my log here, right? And then whichever one leveled. So, for example, say these are just done. So next time these guys play, I'll have to do it. So we'll do. This will make Curtis happy. So I'm going to type in. Well, you guys can't see what I'm. Oh, you did up top, but here I'm going to go here. It goes back here. So here's another thing. Persephone. All right. Now I also have to change in Photoshop. She's no longer 8-7, and that would drive me nuts if I have a character's stats going through that are wrong. She's 8-8 now. She just from Thursday night with different hit points. Now, that's why I don't put down armor class and all that other stuff on there, because that would really drive me insane. I put down the class, the levels, the hit points, and race and with male and female. So I have to update all them. Yep, doing terrain isn't cheap. Have to find. Yep, it is not cheap. And the reason we are lucky twofold is, number one, we have a lot of great sponsors that send us stuff, and
you have Bill.
Then I have Bill.
Yep.
We had a meeting today before the football games with Jeremy, planning out all the terrain I need for GaryCon. Right? And all the special stuff that Jeremy would like Bill to do for GaryCon. Right? So it's like, yeah. So this can take, and here's the thing, and some of these groups would join experience groups where I give experience to characters I've been playing, so they're all the same level. It's almost like, but remember, it's not, what do you call it? What's 5th edition raising a level called? When you meet a
level up?
No, it's called something else. When you all meet the same level, but it's called something else. Milestone. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay. Milestones. Okay.
Yep. It's not milestoning because they all have different numbers.
Well, that's instead of experience. XP. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Benchmarks, milestones. It's not that. But sometimes I'll have half the party updated, and I have to go through, and this could take. Normally I'm watching TV up here. I put it on a TV screen right here on this one, and I'm watching something and doing that. That takes 45 minutes to an hour to do that. To change all this. And then I have to get it on my machine downstairs. So I just key it up and stuff. So there you go. So another thing that no one thinks about is with Portrait Workshop, and also we're trying to, with special players, we're trying to connect a miniature that we have to a portrait that I've worked up as well as good as possible too. So that's another thing that takes time. And that's before this. Well, not before this. This is always being worked on. So here is an adventure. This is adventure number 1086. The 2 weeks we did Theo's Heroes and Wintry Wonders in my frickin' chicken scratch. Okay, there it is. There's the entire adventure. For me to convert that over to a written down adventure, a lot of the stuff, and Annie, you probably do the same thing. A lot of stuff's in my
I
head.
have the same type of scribbles, but I
Yeah.
do them in Obsidian instead.
Okay.
Yeah, if I come up with ideas when I'm out like hiking or walking the dog or something, I just use Evernote and just type down a note, and
Right.
then I collect those notes into Obsidian when I get there. But I did all the characters for the page adventure. That will be fifth level
Good.
pre-gens. Yeah.
Oh.
It took about a day to do them because I'm still a little bit rusty, meaning it's still early days. It's the Hawktails is in alpha, so that's why it takes a little while.
All right. So for Paige, the traveling book for me, right? Here
Hmm.
it is.
Yeah.
In here are base stuff I need, or some I don't, but I keep special monsters if I have
Yeah.
them.
By the way, do you have a laser printer or something? Do you
Yeah,
have a print? Okay, good.
yeah. So
Can I print out the like 10 pages of the pre-gens for the convention that way, just in
yeah,
case?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a HP. It's not a laser, but it's
It
a
doesn't
yeah,
matter. Whatever. Yes, a
yeah.
printer, just in
So
case. Yeah.
so here's the adventure for Thursday night.
Hmm.
I've already run it. See, this is the thing. I get sneaky because this isn't an official campaign adventure. None of these are official campaign adventures. But I let the players, like Rob's playing two characters. Phantom NJ is playing one on Friday and Saturday, and the experience counts for him. And experience counts for my son. If Bill plays, here are all the characters leveled up, and I just printed these. This is one adventure, right? So these are the options. I always give two more than possible for a convention so that they have their choice. So the last
Hmm.
person doesn't get stuck with a character. So, and most of these are characters from Hools that are higher level. So this is day one, right? So look, day two. There's Rob's Durgrim Flintblade is printed out, ready to go for Rob, and then all the other characters. So Rob could be playing with Skarn. I use him, Tabitha, Candace, Dex the Misunderstood, Millicent, Theon, and Desmond Miles, all 7th or 8th level in that one. So that's kind of how I do cons. Now there's a lot when we go to Gary Con. There's way more pre-gen characters that I do. On here, there's probably in this one there's pre-gen characters of, I don't know, counting my kids group game, like 6 or 7. When I go to Gary Con, it's probably 12 to 14 that are characters in the campaign. Yeah. Bill, did you sign up for that game yet? Fion, the Priestess of Tritherion. Yes, she is, and she's available in 2 adventures. So, yep, absolutely. But guess what, Curtis? Last year at Gary Con, not at Founders and Legends, but at Gary Con, she didn't get played a single time. She wasn't picked. All right, yeah, please. Hopefully, there's 2 spots for you and your son. Still, there was 2 spots left. So this is the traveling book. So I don't need to take my player's handbook or anything like that. And then like I said, here's the legendary bleeder from Ed in here. Still, I keep as long as I coffee spill. Yeah. So yeah, I'll put in stuff. I'll take out stuff here. There's spells in here. Especially like elementalist spells. So yeah, Fion's a great character. But like a lot of people don't want to play clerics because they think they're healing factories, but the Tritherians are not healing factories. So, but that's what you need. That's what I do for cons, and it's very similar. Thanks, Bringale. It's very similar to running a Thursday night game. It is. It's very similar. You have a group of characters. I need to make sure that all my character. I won't have scrolling character pictures at a con. It's too much. So yeah. But prep takes a long time. So I get the adventure done, and then the system is this: Thursday afternoon. So they say it's a Thursday night game. I have it 80% fleshed out. About not completely, 80% fleshed out before Thursday night. My son has piano lessons from 4:05 to 4:35 Thursday. So I drop him off and I sit in my car and I finish writing this up. I finished fleshing it out with whatever. Like, oh, I need to get back to this. What's the second level spell I want to put here? I'm just going to put mirror image down or whatever. Okay. Or what? I need a monster here. Bill gave me, like, I added the Ice Devil. Well, the Ice Devil I was contemplating, but did I really want to use that? And I said, no, I want the Ice Devil. I got to go when I get back to the house. The Ice Devil needs to have a guide because he can polymorph self. So I need to put a miniature of a human there in his place and not have an Ice Devil right off the bat. That kind of stuff. So I'm fleshing it out there, sitting there. Because my wife, will tend to work late. We eat, and then guys come over, or people log in, like Coco and Curtis or whoever else, or Darling. They log in, and that's how we do. That's my prep. That's my prep for the game. Now, a pre-written adventure, you'd think it's easier, but it's not. I know you don't run adventures modules.
Nope, it's an old sandbox. I know what the starting position will be, whether it's from leftover from last session or if it's a start from the beginning, and then I just and when things happen, I write down like sentences of what happens all the time, and then sometimes I have to ask questions to players. Oh, what happened? What happened there? Or something. So
Right.
and then I have and then. But the important bit is to make sure that all the critters of the area, so to speak, have stat blocks and names and stuff, and the place is mapped out, and that's it, so to speak. But sometimes I have to come up with things on the fly because the players might decide, oh, we go in that direction instead, and I was like, okay, now I just have to come. So there are times when I say, okay, we have to end here because I need to prep more, and then some of the players say, no, then we go in another direction. And it's like, no, if you want to go in that direction, please do, so to speak. But so I try to but half of the stuff is, meaning what actually happens, I usually have no clue. That will just happen, so to speak. And so what I have a clue about is who lives there and who's there, so to speak. Who can be involved and what can be involved when it comes to monsters, and also what the place looks like. Those are the things I have, and I have stat blocks for most of them. Some of them I don't. I just come up with them on the go, so to speak. Because sometimes you come up with stuff and I realize that, oh, this scene needs more. All of a sudden you have the characters might simply go in and raid a building, and then I have to come up with on the fly who lives there. So I have some generic NPCs that I can just flesh out and give a name. So I have like city guards and barkeeps and in the locals of various kinds. So I have generic stat blocks for a bunch of stuff that I can reuse and just base them on. So some of them I keep in memory. So I'd like, okay, a standard warrior of the person of this area will be roughly this capable, and then I use that as a template and just vary some weapons and stuff, and so just have to come up. Half of it is just fly by the seat of my pants when we run the game.
So, do I run a sandbox? No, but
that will be difficult since you want the table to be done, so to speak. You need the physical location needs to be kind of predetermined.
Right. But that doesn't mean that strange things can't happen in the game.
No,
right?
you can, as long as you stay in that physical location, you can probably do anything, so to speak.
Yeah, and then they can go off and they allow them go and they oh, we need potions and stuff, and that's not on the table. So
no, but then you can just do in the background. It's when you get encounters that need to be set in those locations.
Absolutely. So let me all right, so we'll go back to this. All right.
When I run at the table, I just draw the area, whatever comes up. I just draw it on my tactiles. And sometimes sometimes I do overview maps in the low scale, and then I use this larger scale for close-in battles that I use encounter scale, so to speak. So I can have like an overland scale where each and I have a hexed version of the stuff, or before I used a large game map that was hexed that I used, and then each hex can be a quarter of a mile or something like that. It used to be a scale, so you can kind of draw large overland maps for it. And then I take pictures of them and I use them because I need to remember them afterwards, because if I come up with them on the fly, I need to, but nowadays I need to draw from because I've mapped out the area, so I know what features are there, so that way they will stay consistent. But sometimes I just have to, because I don't have a fancy BTT when I run at tables, that means that I have to draw it and that I might deviate from it, and I have to redraw the map at home, so to speak. So
Oh,
the reference map, that happens. Yeah.
all
Yeah,
right.
tactiles are fantastic. I bought them in Denmark like 25 years ago, and they're still fantastic. But there is an alternative because tactiles you can't get to. But now there is, hang on a second here. I need to,
So
there
I
are
just linked this. If
these.
you want this in PDF, free
Yeah,
download, Cannibal site, and
yeah.
there's 2 other adventures that are free.
Gaming paper has a cardboard style where that has hexes on one side and
Oh, that's
squares on
nice, and
another one.
they're interlocking.
Yeah, they're interlocking just like
Oh, that's nice.
tactiles, but they're made out of stiff cardboard with printing on it, and these are for dry and
Oh,
dry
dry
erase
erase.
tiles.
Oh,
Yep,
nice.
yep. So I bought these and they seem awesome too. So yep.
Very cool. All right, so how do all right, so I don't run sandboxes, but there can be sandbox play within cities. There can be some off the rails stuff where they get into some kind of bizarre conversation. If they're in camping. So um, Hexer's dry erase boards because yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Like I said, I think it's
hmm
easier to sandbox with a few groups. It's tough for me to
Oh yeah,
with
yeah.
28 adventure
I
groups. It's
prefer
tough.
to run one game group per campaign.
Yeah.
I've done campaigns in my Shieldlands. I had a second game group for about 2 years, and it was kind of complicated because they wanted to go into the same cool area, so then it became difficult.
That is a tough thing to do. And you have your maps, but you can at least expand on some of them, right? And you got to be on the fly. That's a thing
Well,
you need
yeah,
to
all
do
the
is on the fly.
details, and
Yeah.
that's how I like it. I like the big picture detailed out, but the minutia should be theater of the mind. Just come up with it. I don't want I don't want the dungeons and the rooms to mapped out perfectly. I want them to show the story. I don't want to know what's the dinner table. I want to come up with that.
Okay.
And then but I want the big pictures so I know who will come where, what for what reason, and then the details can be worked out. So usually it's the opposite, meaning a lot of you know every detail and you have the map for that scene, but you have no clue what it looks like outside of it. For me, it's the opposite. The scene can be superficial, but I need to know what's surrounding it, so to speak. I need to know where in the world it is. Yeah, like this. I need to know not only what the city looks like. I'm not interested in each building in minutia, but I want to know what the city looks like. And if you want to get in and out of the city, where can you do that clandestinely in middle of the night and stuff like that? So yeah.
So let me bring up the above view again and just discuss this. Did I for that city? Did I do that? I got so much open. I know I'm going to crash everything, but that's the
Uh-oh.
fun part. That's okay. So there is a lot of options. Like, here's another question. Well, what are you going to do? All right, I'm gonna bring this up for a reason. What do you? My groups are split between GREYHAWK and Lost. That's fine, man. That's good. You know, Fall God Games, Lost Lands. And there's some really great things for the Lost Lands too. Really are good things for the Lost Lands. There's a lot of great publications out there. So if I look at the Altamira book, I have some of them, but not all of them, right? Not all of the bad organizations here. I'll go over a couple of them, and we kind of since the fundraiser last year gotten away from here are the Murlocs, they exist, right? They're amphibious stalkers in here. The Beastmen for the fundraiser, kind of the Son of Orcus has been dealt with, but that's okay for the time being. But there's other organizations, there's the Dwarven Bandit groups, there's the Mongrels of the Putrid Tongue have made a comeback, and there's the Dark Brotherhood, especially, which has been in my campaign for 40, I'm going to say for 46 of the 45 years, if that makes sense, where I was actually doing stuff with the Dark Brotherhood before I was keeping track of adventures. So they've been around for a long time. I just called them something different until that adventure came out that named them. Which is really cool. So, but having all these groups, some of the issues that come up. Number one, Some groups we don't get to for every couple of years, and some of the players it drives them crazy. And I'm like, well, it's math, dude. Right? If I have 20 active adventuring groups with my Thursday night players, and we're only getting together 52 weeks, right? At most 52 weeks, and some of the adventures are 2-3 weeks long. I'm not going through all 20 of them one at a time because it just so some groups sit, um, and that's just the way it is. When you get to this point of bloat, and I'm not just not killing off anyone. Mine are playing whack-a-mole with cultists. That's cool. That's cool. So we'll go to Altamira. We'll go to Harby. I love Harby. We'll go to GREYHAWK and some other areas. And I wanted to share this updated for those of you who. That's 24. Where's my 25? I updated the Altamira Mercenaries rankings this morning. Some characters aren't in groups like Knights of Ulick. You are absolutely right, Bill. Here we go. There's the new ranking. As you can see, 2 drink minimum is 5th. They're Reborn, there's Theo's Heroes, the Slav Squad, Nuclear Meat is moved up. The Bone Baddies are above the
How do you earn better rating?
It's positive notoriety. Doing adventures for people, making a difference by the 2 drink minimum was the group that basically was responsible for officially banishing the sun, right? The son of Orcus. That really
that ought to come high. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then adventures because Altamira goes back to 87. There's a lot of history with the top ones. Huntsman, we just did one with them. They're the bounty hunter group. Yes, so bribing bar staff. But notice some of the others are the DFCC we haven't done in a while because Mike Disney hasn't been around. Now he's back, so maybe we'll get some more of those. But you got Bone Baddies, Nuclear Meat here, Slav Squad, and Reborn. I'm sorry, Slav Squad and 2 Drink Minimum are all special groups, so all 5 special groups are here. So no, I do it based on my feel of like if someone is wants to hire someone who they want. How's that sound? If they could hire anyone, who do they want? That's the way I look at it. So, and it could be different missions or stuff. Like this one up top here, they really never even had a group. They're all high-level Knight of Ulick characters, like 9th level, 8th, 9th level, maybe one's 10th. What level is Sarah, Bill? She 10-10? 9-10? She's high, the dual-class Paladin Specialty Priest. So they're getting up there. The Omega Patrol did the Temple of Elemental Evil, and also did Durbanford, which was a big one. And then, the Night Stalkers have been around forever, and the Night Stalkers have dealt with a lot of baddies. And we can just go down. So Windborn is the lowest rated of the Thursday night groups. So you got Thursday. You have NPC, 2 NPC groups. That's it. So Mike Disney's back. Mike is streaming again. Yeah.
That's so good.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, yeah. So, Mike's back. So there you go. And that's, I think it's fun to do that and just, work your way up. So 2 drink minimums earned it, right? So tying that into Altamira and what's happening, we had a meeting today. I'm going to skip Paige because Paige will be doing the announcements. So we're going to go here and we're going to go here. So a little enticement here, Gary Khan. Don't look at my Tower Gygax when it is. Curtis will get mad. I'll hide it. The Deadly Challenge. Okay. I have 3 seats this year instead. I did there. It's not on there. I have 3 seats instead of 2 this year. So Ravalantor and his companions, 2 drink minimum, have made a name for themselves in Altamira in a very short period of time. Apparently, not everyone is pleased with their rise to notoriety. So, and Anna, you're on. We don't. Any word, Jeremy? So, any word? Let me know. Chuck thinks he's in this game. I just don't have room for him this year. So we'll see if but and this is why I want to show you the map. So the Deadly Challenge will be exclusively in Altamira, this adventure. It'll be exclusively in, and we're talking about it today. And here's the map. So, there is a tower, and it was always when we had it as a circle at the southern gate. So it's going to go right here. All right. It's
Hmm.
Alan's character Arcturus' archery school, and it's a defense of the southern gate. And he's got this 18, was it Bill, 18 by what, 24 by 7 with multiple levels. This is going to be Jeremy's STL giveaway for the pack for the high level VIPs and platinum badge holders and all at GaryCon, that piece. And all right, just let me know because I'm holding that spot for her. And it's going to be, we're going to have that there in person, and the adventure is going to take place there. It's going to be so cool. So it's big. Yeah, it's a big piece. So and it's a unique piece that's created for Altamira, but for GaryCon as a giveaway, as him being a sponsor. So I think it's really cool. So whenever we do an update, we'll put, and another thing, Anna, is that, God, where did I put it, Bill? I don't remember where I put this stuff now. I bet you it's in GaryCon 2025. Jeremy is making stuff for us for the Luke publication of the thing in view capture for you, so that we can map it, put it on
Hmm.
the map.
Cool.
So he's working on the above views of that, so that,
Yeah, that's
right?
great.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So that's in the
awesome.
inside. That's the inside of the Knight's estate main building,
Hmm.
right? Okay, so that's being worked on Knightly Manor. Yeah. So, and we'll have a couple
Awesome.
pieces of that there at GaryCon as well for the first adventure I'm doing. So just to show you that this kind of stuff we're planning out months, because now I have a sponsor making terrain and built crafting terrain and all for this months out. So the stuff I have for Paige is already, Jeremy's already sent me what I requested, and I have 3 entire sets of boxes, 2 boxes each for Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday. Thursday night, Friday morning, and Saturday morning. Underlays. I still got to get all the miniatures together, and I got to get all the spell effects and the monsters and all. So I'll have what? I'll be a, a page. I'll be a page on.
Be at Page is my guess. Friday.
Are you? Is that a yes or no? I thought you were going to be a page on Saturday only. Did I just say that? You will. Wait a minute. You'll be there Friday and Saturday. Got it. Okay, cool.
Cool. Yep.
Got it. Cool. But you're bringing your son only Saturday, correct? So, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So all this planning, another thing for me with terrain's important for me. That's my play style. I'm not going to go to a con and not play my play style. That's what I'm known. And thanks to Josh, all of our games are in the Chop House this year, except the Tower of Gygax, which is wherever Tower of Gygax is. But all 3 of the main games I play, and they're all based in the campaign. And 2 of them have 4 signups, and no, first one has 4, and the Slav game and the Two Drink Run game has 3. So I added signups, 1 sign up to all 3 games, so that more people can play. So. Shoot to Hampton. Hampton's right next door, though, isn't it, Rob? It's right next door to the Hilton, if I recall. You can walk right over because the VIP event starts like 5:30, Anna, right? Something like
I
that.
have no idea.
Yeah, and I'll be DMing from 8 to 11 on
Okay.
Thursday in
Yep.
the back room in the
I assume
convention room.
people will tell me where to go when
Uh,
when I get there.
so,
That's yep.
all right, that's paining me. So get rid of that. All right. So Anna, what am I missing here? Oh, lastly, when I
Mhm.
do an adventure, is it going to comprise a long-term plot arc or not? Okay, so that's the main thing. Am I going to pull in a long-term plot arc? For example, the Narwhal Headhunters. If I'm going to run the Narwhal Headhunters, there's 2 groups of Narwhal Headhunters. Now they're kind of starting to merge together because they're all the same level. Am I incorporating the Dark Druids in the Gnarly Forest? That's a long-term plot arc. Or am I doing something with monsters or undead, or am I doing it maybe with Mastrine's guys? They're not long term plot. They're okay. That's part of the adventure. But the Dark Druids, I have an idea for. It's long term. Bill's just made up, for example, a whole bunch of new minis. I'm not gonna tell you what they are. He's working on painting them. So sometimes after Page, we're gonna have a Norwell Headhunter one with all these brand new, unbelievably cool minis of a type. I'm not gonna, that's going to be with the Dark Druids in the long term plot arc. So is it going to be a regular just story, which would be an adventure module, or is it going to be one of those long term plot arcs? So there. So that's another thing I gotta consider. You know. So like when I have last Saturday the Dark Brotherhood come into it, that's a long term, super long term plot arc. And then this previous Saturday with Junior in it, that became a short term plot arc because Tim at Stronghold's nuts because that guy got away the first adventure that group played in, and he wants to hunt him down. So I'm letting him run with it. So I'm leading him all over the place, which is fun. So there you go. So Anna, what about you with long-term plot arcs? Is it like
It will be my big decision is to who is in the area, so to speak, or who will come in. So that's where I make my big decision to who I enter in, meaning which villain, and some of them are kind of obvious. When you go to the Shield Lens in 598, then Ayus is of course one of the villains, but who is beneath him, so to speak, what henchmen are active in the area and stuff. So that is something I decide, but sometimes it doesn't play out. Meaning Vakunis, I had a whole different idea for Vakunis, and they killed him off session two, and then he was gone, so to speak. He's one that can come back and maybe or something. So I had like a plan for him. Now that will be a completely different thing, so to speak. So there's still ideas that I can work with him even when he's technically dead, so to speak.
you could have him cloned?
No, I'm not going to be that simple. This is
Oh.
this is going to be cooler than that. Yeah. I use don't meaning if he's a loser, he's not going to be cloned, so to speak. But there are other variants of it. Yeah. But so that can change. So I have idea. So it's basically I just create the starting point, and then I have to react to what the players do. So it's in that sense, it's very much a player-driven campaign, but I try to steer them usually by kind of giving them incentives. I kind of wiggle around shiny things and they run after them, so to speak. So I lure them in directions. That's usually the thing, meaning I mention something or they see something at the horizon or they hear about something and most players like, oh, that sounds cool, let's go there. And sometimes I railroad them fairly heavily and say, well, now you get a mission and you need to go there and do that, so to speak. That I do that at times because some players seems to, what are we supposed to do and so on. So sometimes you need to, it's a tug of war, and sometimes you do it, meaning sometimes you play by being a DM by being almost forceful. You kind of set up things and you just push them. But you can also lead by boredom as an underused tactics. If you want the players to start going off the rails, you provide them with nothing, and then they will get bored and they will start killing whatever is visible, or they will bash indoors just to see what's behind them and stuff. So boredom is it's when that makes some players go creative, so to speak. So I think it's like a good movie. You need different tempos. Sometimes the tempo should be go 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 go, and sometimes it should be like oh now we have to go deep and slow and so on. So the tempo should, so I can have like 3-4 sessions of battle in dungeons, and then it can be travel around for a couple of sessions, see things, and just wander the countryside for 2 sessions, or no combat whatsoever. They make 3 die rolls, and then they end up at the Baron's court, and there's some intrigue or whatever. 10 die rolls, nothing happened, but that might set the tone for whatever happens afterwards. So my campaigns vary. They might be very combat heavy for a couple of sessions, and then there's no combat in sight for a while.
And that's
Yeah.
the wonders of having a home game where it
Hmm.
doesn't matter how much entertainment you're placing on,
Yeah, yeah.
it's like, yeah,
Just there to entertain the
yeah,
players. That's
that's it.
it. Yeah.
That's
Hmm.
perfect.
Yep.
You know, for me, it's
Con
but I
games are a bit different. Then you
no,
need to
con yeah con
yeah,
games con
you need to
games.
concentrate it. So yeah.
There are rules to con games. One, and Rob Phantom NJ knows this. For me, I'm doing them first thing in the morning. The only reason I'm doing this one, there's no one on the table before me Thursday night because there's a party, and I
Hmm.
got asked, so I know I have an open. I want an open table so I can set
Yeah.
up at
For
my leisure beforehand.
Yeah, for me, it's
Yeah.
usually the other way around. I prefer to run them in the evening so there is no one coming knocking on the table afterwards. So you can kind of wrap up and get more flexibility at the end. Because my setup at cons are usually simple. You just
Okay.
put out some tactiles and hand out the. But I prefer to have a long session at conventions. You can ease into it for a little bit because it takes a while before I get going in the situation. But my convention games are usually fairly ordered missions. So they are sandbox that are more constrained because I don't let the players roam in the beginning. I
Right.
said this is the mission, and at least lately have been, and the same thing will be at the page game. They will be Furiundian soldiers who are going on their first mission to Iusian lands. So it will be across the Veng raid, so to speak. They will be fifth level, so I can describe a little bit who they are, so to speak, because I made them. So they are fifth level characters who are they are well trained and well equipped, and they've been training and they've been defending against Iusian raids, so they've seen a little bit of action, but they've never been behind enemy lines, so to speak, and take it. So now they will play a side part at a
Shieldland
raiding.
Patrol. Shieldland Patrol. Is that the name of it? A page.
Exactly. Yep. Hmm.
All right.
Yep.
Hey, Bill.
Yep.
Bill, there's 2 seats open for this.
Yep. It's two seats open still. So
Oh,
yep.
look at
Hmm.
who's playing this. Bill. Bill, you want to
Yeah.
get Bill? You want to get in this? Ever mysterious Tim, Michael Gross and his son, and Tim's son Mark. There you go.
Hmm.
There you
Yep.
go, Bill. You want to get in that? It's at two
Yep.
o'clock.
Hmm. So they will be they will the setup is that they have been for the past couple of years they have been training hard and they've been defending there's a couple of keeps in Furundi in the barony of Uragan, and so they are
Oh,
serving the
it's six
baron.
hours. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a 6 hour game. Yep. Hmm. So they come from the area. They are sons and one daughter of the area, so to speak, and so they've been serving at the keeps and stuff, and they've been serving well. They're fifth level, and now they will go on. They will play one part. They will do some reconnaissance, and they also will have a couple of missions objectives that they're supposed to do, so to speak. But they are just one small part of the big raiding party. The total raiding party is several hundreds, and these are as one small group with one little task, so to speak. So it's go in the countryside and do it. So they will be other friendlies in the area, and they're going to go in there. So exactly, yeah. That hopefully not. I don't think this will be hopefully not a TPK, and you can play it wisely because you will have resources in that sense, and that the help is reasonably close, and so on. So you will
Uh,
not be completely abandoned long behind enemy lines. This is not that type, so
You
to
won't
speak. So,
be at this. You're not going to be on this one that I said because you're during the game during this, the Altamira Troller Games one and
yeah,
the Troller Games one.
exactly. I
It's
saw
fine.
that all the other ones were
Yeah, it's all good.
while I was scheduled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
the two guys, Paul and Thomas Malazzo, are in on
Yeah.
that one that are in my game
Yeah.
now. So
So I can mention the six pre-gens I have for
yeah,
this
please.
adventures. We have Gammus of a Ferd. Ferd is a small town on the western Veng, basically on across the Veng from Quitwall. They're all in the near that area, so to speak, from there. And Gammus of Ferd, he's an aspiring squire of Uragern, and so he's basically a very promising soldier who's been soldiering and serving the Baron at various keeps and stuff, and done so with distinguished service for several years. And he is let's see here, he is a 20, they're in their 20s, so he's yeah, he's like a 20, they're about 20 or so in age, all of them.
Cool.
So they're served in that, and he is a basically the warrior type. He has some cool things. He can sneak attack. A lot of warriors in Hawktails in my game is nothing unusual. So he can do unarmed combat, and he can also sneak attack. Otherwise, he's a well-rounded soldier. He's reasonably good and or like very good for his class level, so to speak, in almost all types of combat. He has reasonable range skills. He's good front up. He has good defenses, and he can sneak attack. And so that's Gammus of Fur. He's a solid soldier, so to speak. Then we have Mogret of Herschel. He's a guy that he's an archer. And he's an archer instructor and stuff. He's teaching people to use bows and stuff. So he's primarily arranged, but he can do some. He has short swords, and he can be fairly okay at close up. But he's the long range artillery, so to speak, and he can snipe. He's a good sniper, and he has a really good bow, but he also uses double short swords for close up. So he's a reasonably well-rounded, but with the edge when it comes to long range. And then we have Edal of Aragorn. He's one of the Baron's battle mages, and he specializes in evocation and illusions are his thing. So he can cast some illusion spells, and he's also a master at fire magic. So he can do fireballs and various fire spells really effectively. And he also has a spear that he can use. And then we have Kaidus of Aragorn. He is he's a valorous squire and a war priest of Hieronymus. So he's the cleric.
Cool.
Yeah, so he's a war priest, meaning he's a cleric that uses sword as good as any soldier and so on. So, but he has a little bit less, but he has he can heal and stuff. So he has cast up to 3rd level cleric spells or divine spells. So he has that, and he can use longsword and mace, and he can fight with 2 as good. And he has D10 hit points, like the warrior
Cool.
Gammus also has D10s. Morgret of Herschel has D12s. The archer, he has a D12 because he has less armor and stuff.
Right,
so
right.
he's taken more of a beating, so he has a bit more hit points to beef up his because he's not that strong at defending that way, so he can take more of a beating. But he has sniping that is really, really cool. And then we have Briad of Ferd. She is initiate of the 3rd circle, an old faith priest, meaning a druid.
Good.
And she's also really good at spear, and she has a longbow as well, and she can cast cantrips 1st and 2nd level. So she can also become a fox when needed. So she can
Nice.
sneak and
Fifth level characters?
yeah, 5th level character. So she's
Cool.
not fully. She's a little bit. She's like a druid warrior. So she's stronger than. So she can. She has. She's really good with the spear, and she's also reasonably good with a bow as well. And she has D12 hit points, hit dice. So she has a lot of defense. And here comes the cool one, Alvis of Hirtfur. It's another town just across the Veng from Critwall. And he's an Aragorn special associate. He's an hired tinkerer, sneaky tinkerer, meaning he's a thief. So the Baron have hired unsavory types, so to speak, like the rogue types, because he needs them for the war effort too. So he hired this one, and he's kind of cool. He can do traps and he can do he has a lot of things like engineering. He's very skilled, and he only has daggers. His only weapons are daggers, but in some ways he's the most lethal of all of them because he is specialized in daggers, and he has 2 keen daggers +1, and since he is specialized in daggers and he can fight with 2 of them, his damage is 4d8 +2, plus
Nice.
he has a sneak attack as well on top of that. That is 3d8 damage on top of it. So he is very close up. He's as vicious as any of the other ones, and he has d8 hit points as well. So hit dice. So he's the skilled one, and he's the sneakiest of them all. And he also has. But he only has one. So he has two keen daggers for close-up defense, and he has a bunch of throwing daggers that he can throw too. So he can has that as a ranged weapon. So that way he can sneak around and dress up and speak like some of the other ones there. And he yeah, and then they also have language, how well they speak different languages and stuff like that. So they are on their first mission, and they are well equipped. All of them have magical weapons, and some of them have a little bit of magic armor and stuff. So they are, for their level, they are well trained and reasonably well equipped, and they will come with some scrolls and stuff like that. And
Yeah, I always
so
throw a consumable here and there with the
yeah,
characters and these.
exactly.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
and meaning the King Belvoir and the Baron wants them to succeed. So they will be well. They are well trained and well equipped, and go in. So it can
Good.
be an interesting stuff. And I there are goats in the area too, and some
See,
other
Mike.
stuff. So yeah,
Oh, so all right, so
yeah,
we're getting up on time here. Let's talk about
hmm
what's happening. So,
yep,
in addition to all those games, I have the World of Greyhawk setting with Joe Block. That is at 3 to 4, and then I go right from that one. So we're talking about Greyhawk into the Troller Games one from 4 to 5. That's why I can't play in this game. So yeah, so there, those two are on, and then I'm done. So and yeah, I'm free and clear after that. Um, Note this. So Wednesday this week, Anna will be here. Chuck will be here from Troller Games. My guess is we're not gonna play a game. I'm gonna be too mentally gone. But we'll probably just hang out in the basement and we'll live stream. We'll just BS.
sure.
All
You
right.
know, Wednesday,
Yeah.
yeah, or
Yeah.
yeah.
After we're done going out to eat, come back and
Oh
we'll
yeah,
just
yeah. We
yeah,
could just have a sit and
a little
yes,
gab
yeah. People
session
can
down in the
ask
basement.
questions. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That's what we're gonna do. I
that's a
think.
good one. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe talk about some things, terrain and stuff like that, and all
yeah.
that. Yeah. Or whatever we want to talk about. So that's what we're gonna do. That'll be a stream for Wednesday. I don't know. I just don't know what I'm going to stream. So the possibilities are get my games at Friday. These are out. It's too loud. The Friday and Saturday morning games are out. The Thursday night game I'm going to try. That's a possibility. And the two seminars, they want them streamed. They also want me to do some interviews. And I'm like, I
Okay,
don't know when
yeah.
everyone's free, Ron. You got to tell me. You got to preset these up. I can't just wander around with my equipment is not a GoPro, man. It's a freaking whole setup. He's like, yeah, well, I want you to talk to Frank Menser and all. I'm like, well, I don't know when Frank's free, man. I don't. So we'll see. We'll see. We're working it all out.
Mm-hmm.
But just note, I may come live. Just put your notifications on so that you know I'm coming live. All right, that's all I can say. I'll do my best. But like 8 o'clock Thursday night is probably, as long as there's no weird issues, that one should be a good one to run. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Troller Games, new things coming out, and
Mm-hmm.
what other things we're gonna have planned there, Rob. So I'm gonna try. What questions does the audience have about the setups, preparation? Everyone does it
Yeah.
differently. It's not easy, but I have to have a system down, right? So I got my own personal system down that works for me, and that's the most important thing. It works for what I do um, in my game, right? And that's what you have to set for yourself. Something that works for your campaign,
Mm-hmm.
your setup. Um, and trust me, so a couple things I notice. Um, Threads is its own new world. Okay, I don't know how many of you are on Threads instead of Twitter, but I've been on Threads, and that's how I met Lindsay, by the way, it was a big plus. But Threads has some people, and I can say this from my position, they have no clue what the F they're doing with D&D. They just don't. All right, they just have no freaking clue. And someone asked, "What's the best way to prepare for a D&D game?" And everyone's like, "You wing it, man. It'll be better that way." But I'm like, no, no, no. You
My
have to.
advice is that prep well on the stuff that you're weak and wing in the areas you're strong.
Exactly. You need
Hmm.
to have some
Yep.
preparation.
Hmm.
Now, there's always exceptions. If I have some people over, like, hey, you want to run a game? I'll go through all the old adventures I have, pick something
Hmm.
out, maybe.
Yep.
But that's an
Meaning I'm
exception.
I'm bad with coming up with names on the fly, and I'm also bad
Yeah,
with coming up with
yeah,
personal stories and stuff on the fly. That's why I prep that extensively. I come up with names, backstories, and stuff like that. But terrain, I don't need to worry about houses and
that
stuff.
works, Traeger.
I can just wing that. Meaning what a building looks like inside and stuff. I just wing it that on the fly. I don't worry about that part.
Rob, you're exactly right. So, yeah, 100%, you're dead on
Yeah.
that. And then another thing, people always ask this question, and
Like I hear you're not weak on everything. I know that. You prep. Yeah. Hmm.
I guess he's being a little humble there, which is fine.
Don't
Absolutely.
ask the messes of threads. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
100%. Another thing I get all the time, and this applies to non-D&D streamers too, for when we're talking about streaming something. I don't know that if I'm not just not feeling up to it, or not feeling well. I'd rather not have a good stream than have nothing at all. And I said back to people like that, you understand that people are relying on you for your entertainment, camaraderie, community, and stuff like that. I don't care if you don't feel up to it. If you're not genuinely ill, you need to stream. You need to do it. I mean,
Yeah.
I stream 4 times a week, and sometimes I'm not feeling great. You can see when I'm not feeling, um, I stream 2 days after I had my prostate removed. Right? I'm just saying, you need to stream if you want to get, and that people wonder why they have a 5 viewer average. You know what I'm saying? You need to do it
Hmm.
consistently, unless there is a reason. Now, okay, I
Hmm.
started my stream an hour late tonight, but I'm still here. You know, but that was
Yeah.
scheduled. So
Yeah. And also when you run games, it's the hard part is the first half hour. If you just gone into, if it's just been 20 minutes, half an hour, then you get that connection and you start going back and between. Then it becomes a thing between you and the players.
yeah,
And as soon as you get that feeling, especially with con games. That is even more so that it's home games when you played with people for 50 sessions, you know them and you starting. So then
yeah,
it's more easier in the beginning, but it's also more difficult down the line because that tension is no longer there. Then you kind of so familiar, so you can just sit there and nothing happened. But a con game, I find, and I've run like 50 con games in my career or something like that. So it's not that many, but I have enough experience that for me, it's the first 20 minutes. Once you got the players hooked and you get their attention and they start to respond to you, then all my nervousness goes away and it's smooth sailing from there, so to speak. Then it's just to get the players engaged in the game so you feel like they're there with you and it's transport them from this room to wherever the game takes place. So it's like as soon as I sense that the players are traveling with me to the area in Greyhawk, then that's all I need. As soon as I get that, then it's wonderful. When we talk about the place like we're there, then I'm at home, so to speak. Then after that, there's no worries. Then we can throw doors down the stairs and put them on fire or kill whatever or run after whatever, and it's just fun. And everything is it's just to get them to get away from what we are doing here in the room to we need to travel there virtually, so to speak. That's the key bit for me. I need to go there. It's not a game. We are there and we are doing this. And the tool the die rolling and that's just the tools, but that disappears for me and I need to feel like I get the players with me. Sometimes it doesn't happen and it's a little bit of a slog all along or you lose some players who are just on their phone or looking at someone else and never present. But if you get the majority of players with you, then I have no problem. Then I can feel like I'm flying, so to speak. It's awesome.
yeah. With 4 hours, some things with that, two combats is what I limited it to.
Yeah,
Maybe two real small ones and one big one, or like two super quick ones.
yeah. I think
Because, yeah,
yeah.
It's just time.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I had on the 6 hour session I had at GameHole we had five encounters, and four of them were real combat. The fifth were quickly over, so to speak. They ran in, hit hard, and disappeared. So that was 2 rounds, and it was over, so to speak. So, but it was five encounters with the enemy that was at least some lethal exchange of die rolling, so to speak, involved.
Yeah, so just note that there's a lot of nuances that streaming a one shot and cons are very similar.
Hmm.
And there's different prep, but there's still prep.
Yeah,
So and for me, it throws another dimension to my prep is to make sure all the streaming
yeah.
output is set for the right game.
Hmm. And
So
now I'm also curious, Dave, since when you run your home game, no worries, meaning your players know the rules as well as you, or as well as they need, so to speak. And when you come to players that like me and others, we learn it, but you're also very good at explaining the rules as we go. But when you have convention players, do you go over the rules and stuff in the beginning, or do you just run
I
with it?
go
Or
over the rules in the beginning, and then
yeah.
I make sure the first fight is easy, and I
Hmm.
walk them through it, and I go, well, here are some options you may want to consider.
Yep, that's the way I do it too. And
Yeah.
since Hawktails has it's in the how the round is structured. That is where it differs the most from standard D&D because there is like it's a one action round. So you can either cast a spell or something, or you can attack, or you can yeah, and then you can move. So
Well, that's the same
so
thing for
that
me. That's the same thing
yeah,
for me.
yeah. So that ties in. But you
Yeah.
also have one of the things is how opportunity attacks. So I call them interrupts because that you can be cut off, so to speak. You can also cut off enemies, and that's where they need to be a little bit tricky. They need to choose their their failures in that sense that you can if you run up to and try attack someone who's prepared and see you coming, that means that they get a chance to attack you first and if they succeed, you're struck. That then your round is done, so to speak.
Wow.
You don't get a chance. So attack someone who's prepared is a gamble as best. That's why you sometimes have to wait until they have acted that round, and you see that okay, they're probably done now, so they can't do anything. That's when you attack them, or you gang up and are many of them. But on the other hand, if they are really powerful, they might attack lots at the same time. So to attack someone is always risky and can always involve bloodshed, so to speak. So that is something that at least the players at the beginning. Oh, I didn't get to go this round. I was interrupted, and I was like, yep. But
That's
on the
it.
other hand, if another enemy in the same round attack you, you get to do because still have if you still have an attack left, you can interrupt them. So you get the same benefit in that turn. So to go on the offensive is a bit more dangerous than to fight defensively. But that's a gamble. So when you take action, then you have more risk. The safe bet, if you stand and hold your ground, that's less risky in that sense. Yeah, that's the thing that throws some players off, so to speak, that they realize that oh that didn't go well. So the round can really be quickly over, but the rounds are short because you only do one thing and then you move on to the next one. So yeah,
So look for Anna, myself, and Chuck on Wednesday night. Okay,
yeah,
for my basement hanging out. We'll live stream that, and then we'll go from there. All right. And
hmm,
so there's really no reason to talk about any other shout outs because we just don't know,
yeah,
right? Neither
exactly.
you
That's the
or
thing.
we just
Yep.
don't know,
Hmm.
but we'll try our
So
best.
Wednesday things will start hopefully crystallize or
Right.
kind of we start knowing more
And then
as we get closer. Yeah,
so yeah, so and I'll be back late Saturday night. I'm not staying at the con Sunday, so we're going to give
yeah,
this away. This is a newer, right? This is a
yeah,
newer one. This is right from DM's Guild. We'll give this away. If
yeah,
you already have it, then we'll draw you something else. So exclamation
yeah.
point drawing. We're going to raid the Darling in a second, and we'll call that a night here. I still got to work this week. Yep. Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks, Curtis.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
Last call exclamation point drawing. I'm going to close it out. See who wins. Closing winner. TM Kerr 845. Grats. As long as you're
Cool.
on.
Yeah.
As long as you are on. I don't see him on. Do you see anyone? We'll see. Give 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I don't think they're on. We're gonna draw another one. Do not see them on in chat. Nope. All right, we're gonna draw another one. Here we go. Next winner. Death Ray in a good way. A long-time viewer.
Yeah, that's an awesome
Yes.
handle.
Death
Yeah.
Ray is on. All right, there you go. Death Ray is on. Death Ray is the winner. Congrats. I have Death Ray's. Yep, you got it, man. I'll send it out to you. I got your address.
Yep, that's great.
So awesome. So yeah, everyone have a great week. I want to catch the end of the other game here, and thanks, Anna. I'll see you Wednesday. Just call me. I need your flight information, or text me, or Discord me what gate you're coming in, and then yeah, all right.
Yep,
So,
I'll keep you updated.
yeah, absolutely. And Chuck if Chuck's here in time, then he'll come over with me in my vehicle, and we'll go from
Awesome.
there. And then you and Chuck will go off on Thursday because I'm working Thursday morning still. So with my real job.
Yeah. We need to go to we can go, but we can help you. Whatever. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah,
definitely. All right, we'll see you all. I'm gonna hit the wrong button here. Thank you all for the stream. Thank you for your perseverance here. Thank you for waiting an extra hour, and we'll see you all.
Thank you,
Wednesday.
Shattered Saint. Yep.
Bye bye. Awesome. You see, setting right up. Going to Darling. Darling's got the one that Bones is GMing. So go over there, give him some love here. Find the right button here. Buttons. Thanks for all the support lately. It's been wonderful. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
This thing. There we go. Starting it up. Awesome to put her over 100. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll see you Wednesday. Thanks. Ready. Just make sure. Good. Awesome. Thanks, Anna.
Oh.